Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. If you're new, I'm Rebecca, and today we're going to be making a sweet treat. What better to do on a cold, snowy, or rainy day than bake some fresh cookies? So we'll be making some hot chocolate cookies. These are a decadent chocolate cookie with a really cool twist of they're made with hot cocoa mix. So let's head to the stand mixer to make our cookie dough for our hot chocolate cookies. So in our stand mixer, I'm going to be using my flex edge attachment here, and that works really well for scraping down the sides, especially when you're making something like cookies. So the first thing we're going to add is a half cup of butter, or 2 sticks of butter, and they've been sitting at room temperature so they're nice and softened. And to that I'm going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. And now we're going to mix the butter and sugar together, or we're going to cream the butter and sugar. And that is, we're going to mix them together until it makes a nice fluffy result. There we go. Now to that we're going to add 2 eggs that have been sitting at room temperature. And I'm going to turn the stand mixer on, have it start mixing, and I'll add the eggs one at a time. Now I'll add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We'll mix that in. And now we'll add some more dry ingredients. So in a bowl I have 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of an instant hot cocoa mix, or about 2 packets of hot cocoa mix, 2 tablespoons of baking cocoa, a half teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. And I mix that all together into a mixing bowl. And now I'm going to add it little by little into our butter and sugar mixture while it is mixing. Now this is a rather dry cookie dough, so what I'm going to do is add a 1/4 cup of water. And that'll just help to soften up some of the hot cocoa mix that may be sitting at the bottom of your mixer, and add a little more liquid to our cookie dough batter. See that little bit of water that we added? Now it's a much more workable cookie dough. And it's nice and chocolatey. So now what we're going to do is add even more chocolate. So I have 1 cup of vanilla chips or white chocolate chips, and I have 1 cup of a semi-sweet chocolate chip. We'll add that into this cookie dough while it mixes. So now the chips are all incorporated into our cookie dough, so let's head over to our work surface and scoop this onto some baking sheets. Alright, so now let's scoop our prepared cookie dough onto a parchment paper lined cookie sheet. So I have a medium size cookie scooper here. Get it nice and full. Put it onto our parchment paper. You want to give these cookies a couple inches between one another, so they will spread out a little bit. I don't mind if they touch once they're cooked. Try to get 7 per cookie sheet. so we have 21 cookies here, all scooped onto these parchment paper lined cookie sheets. And I like to keep them nice and tall like this because as the cookies bake, they will spread out a little bit. But if you keep that nice mound in the middle of the cookie, the inside will be nice and chewy and kind of like a brownie on the inside. So now I have the oven preheated to 375 degrees. So we're going to bake these cookies for 8 to 12 minutes until the outside of them starts to get a little bit crispy and the top is kind of, you can tell that it's baked, but it's still kind of soft if you touch it. Then we'll take them out and let them cool on the cooling rack because the cookies will continue to bake for a few minutes as they cool on the cooling rack. So let's get these in and bake at 375 for 8 to 12 minutes. All right, our hot chocolate cookies have finished baking. They took the full 12 minutes, and as you can see, they spread out, and on the outside of the cookie, it's nice and crispy, but on the inside, it's still nice and soft. So I'll set them onto these cooling racks here, and the cookies will continue to cook just a little bit while they cool. But I want them to stay nice and chewy on the inside and get the gooiness from the vanilla and chocolate chips and have a nice crispy outside, like the crispy part of a brownie. So we'll let these cool and then we'll have a closer look at our hot chocolate cookies. All right, here we have our hot chocolate cookies all cooled, and they were able to kind of crisp up even more around the edges as they cooled on the cooling racks. So I'll take one of them here, kind of just break it open. You can see on the inside it's nice and soft and chewy like a brownie, and on the outside it's nice and crispy like the outer edges of a brownie, which are probably my favorite part of a brownie, where they're nice and crispy, and we have the gooiness of these chocolate and vanilla chips on the inside. So this is the hot cocoa mix that I like to use when I'm making my hot chocolate cookies, and these also pair really nicely with some milk or of course some hot cocoa. These cookies would also make a really sweet little gift for somebody for their birthday or Valentine's Day, or just because. Imagine a few of these hot chocolate cookies, maybe a cute mug and some fancy hot cocoa mix. That would brighten somebody's day and help put a smile on their face. Cookies are a really great little sweet treat, and they pack nicely into lunches. They're great for an after-school snack or to help cheer somebody up on a gloomy day. So I hope you give this hot cocoa cookie recipe a try. And if you're interested in other sweet treats or baked items, you can check out my playlist on the topics. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to check out some other recipes on cookies and sweet treats and baked items. You may find something that you want to try out as well. Or if you're new to the channel or haven't done so yet, I would really appreciate you subscribing. If you enjoyed this or any other video that you watch, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Well, I hope you're having a fantastic day. See you next time. Take care.